Welcome everyone to Overcome Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, someone that started training only in 2019, and her athlete life is just outstanding in such a short period of time. And I want to learn more about that. April Hutchinson, thank you very much for being on.
Thank you very much for having me.
So I had to do some research and actually I had to validate this in multiple places that you started only in September 2019. Is that right?
Yes, so I started powerlifting in actually the day after I'll give you a little bit of a backstory here. I actually ended up going into rehab in September 2019 on September 21st. So I actually just celebrated my 4-year sobriety yesterday. And literally the day after I got out of rehab, I started powerlifting as a way to keep fit and to keep focused on something else and obviously to help me with my sobriety.
I heard about that before, but you also did some martial arts. So why not going back to martial arts? Why did you choose powerlifting?
It's true. I actually dabbled in powerlifting as part of my training when I was doing MMA. I didn't do MMA for a very long time. It was probably a year and a half. And I loved the kickboxing and boxing aspect of it. I didn't love so much the jiu-jitsu part of it and the grappling, but my coach at that time wanted me to do a cage fight. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just learn to do jiu-jitsu. So I started doing that. I think I took about 3 weeks, and all of a sudden I had my first cage fight. So I did a cage fight. I mean, I was pretty decent, but it wasn't really my cup of tea as far as, I just wanted to go back to boxing and kickboxing. So
That's amazing. Now, genetics plays a big part of powerlifting, and it looks like you were always strong. Is that true? Even when you were, not doing any sports, were you always built in such a way that you were always strong?
yeah, like I think so. I mean, my family history, like my father is tall. My mother was always like she didn't do a lot of power sports, but she was a runner. My grandfather, who I never met, he died just before I was born. He was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens, the NHL team. My brother was a huge junior B hockey player. So I did run in the family, and I started sports at a very young age. I started skating when I was 5 years old and playing all these different sports, and especially fast twitch fiber like track and field and basketball, any kind of sport. I would just pick it up naturally. So.
It's so interesting that you always were somehow involved in the sports, and then alcohol come into play. How hard it was to get over that part.
I mean, I battled with addiction majority of my life. I mean, I started drinking at a very young age when I was about 16. I actually started drinking when I was 12, but nothing serious. But it wasn't until I was a late teenager that it became a very bad addiction, and I drank daily. I dabbled in drugs, but it wasn't really my thing. I was more just an alcohol a drinker, just to kind of suppress any type of feelings I had. Like I couldn't deal with stress. I couldn't deal with life on life terms. So any uncomfortable emotion I ever felt, all I learned at a young age was to suppress it with alcohol. So, which is kind of surprising because I was still playing sports. I was still very active. I did a podcast the other day and I told them, I would always stay healthy. Like, even though I was drinking, I would go to the gym and work out,
Mm.
and then I would puke, right? I would be sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thank my physical health. I think it plays a huge role of why I survived alcoholism. Because if I wasn't strong and trying to make some type of effort to stay healthy, I would have surely died of my addiction. So that did play a big role in my recovery.
And I heard another interview that you actually said that the doctor also gave you 2 years. How he calculated that? Why he said that?
Oh, my doctor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my doctor towards the end, so keep in mind, I don't know, a lot of people don't understand I'm actually 47. there's my jeans. I look younger. Yeah,
Yes, I was
no.
like, what? No way. I was like, I
Yeah,
thought you
right.
were like on your 20s.
Thank you. You're my new best friend. So, and it's funny because I'm surprised. Again, we go back to genetics because I mean, um, if you put yourself through smoking cigarettes and alcohol and drugs for 25, 30 years, you think I would look a little different, right?
Yep.
But no, my doctor, the reason why she gave me like basically a year or two to live is because my body was literally shutting down from the alcohol. So,
Wow, now your powerlift career just becomes even more incredible because your first competition was on your 40s already.
yeah, my very first, actually, my very first MMA fight, I did a cage fight when I turned 40. That was back in 2016. And then when I was 44, that was when I did my first powerlifting competition.
Now, do you feel the difference on your body, for example, now as far as recovery after 40s? Do you feel like it's a little bit harder? Do you train with the same intensity as before, or you are in a different pace?
No, I'm definitely. So the thing is with powerlifting, you have to be very careful, especially my weight class. I'm like 185 pound, and then anything above that. So I'm competing against women that are 250 pounds, 260. Some people are 300 pounds. I'm only 220 pounds. But even at 220 pounds, I feel very heavy. I'm walking around at a weight. I have a lot of muscle, but I'm walking around at a higher weight and I feel a little bit more sluggish. I don't feel as loose and energetic as I used to, but I do notice that the powerlifting, I am sore a lot more. I do whatever I can for recovery as far as like water and sleep and nutrition, but when you're in your 40s, like sometimes I wake up and I put my feet on the ground and my feet
Yeah.
hurt. I feel like I have arthritis in my feet or something. It's when you're in your 40s, it's just a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
You need that extra time. Like I have to put a day in between my sessions just to help me recover. So.
That's an excellent point. And what about the joints? Do you have healthy joints? Because I imagine to do that heavy squat, you have to have good knees.
Yeah, I think like it's funny the even those squats, like it's funny, my one right knee has been acting up a little bit. I've never had knee problems before. It's just a little tweak here and there. But I mean, a lot of the people do think it's your knees. I mean, that is a lot of weight on your joints, but it's actually if you don't have strong quads, because that's where in your glutes, right? Your glutes and your quads are what makes you, and your core even is what gives you a squat, right? A successful squat. So, I mean, knock on wood, I have no pains or ailments right now. Like I said, when I wake up in the morning, I'm just a little bit more stiff and sore than what I used to be maybe 3 years ago.
Hmm.
But I mean, that just comes with age, I guess.
Yeah, but it's impressive how fast you went in just over a year. Because even your best move, from what I was reading, is deadlift, and deadlift is a very technical lift. People mess up a lot with their back because they are not doing the proper lift. Deadlift is a very technical lift, and this is your best lift. Why is that? I mean, did you have a coach to train you on that lift? It was just natural for you?
Well, I definitely built for deadlift. I do believe my taller people are just going to do better at the deadlift. So it took me a while. Like when I first started deadlifting, I always had a coach. And I tried different techniques. I used to just go down what they call a grip and rip. I would just bend down and grip it and yank it up. Um, and then I was like, oh no, I shouldn't do that. Like I should really like take the slack out of the bar and use more technique and stuff. So finally, because I'm so tall, I actually started doing what a lot of the strong men do, like Eddie Hall and Hafthor. They roll the bar into them. So, because when you're tall, it's also uncomfortable having to go down to the floor to pick something up. So when you roll the bar in and extend out and roll it in, and what's in motion stays in motion, right? So it gives it momentum.
Mm.
So so that's my method that I use, and I love it. And you just have to stay consistent with it. Like I wouldn't advise anyone just to try it unless, I mean, if you're coming up to a competition, don't try something new right away. But I started doing it and I liked it, and I lifted 507 pounds at Worlds with that method.
And
So
you don't do sumo deadlift. You do the traditional one, right?
right, I do conventional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's another thing. Some people did say that with the sumo deadlift, it feels like it's a little easier. Do you agree with that?
Sumo's, they say sumo's cheating. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like, yeah, no, I tried it. It just doesn't suit my body type. I mean, I do much better with conventional. Um, it is quads, right? Like you want to really drive through with your legs, but I also, my back is my strongest part of my body for sure.
And yeah, so it's all lower body. And you said in one of the interviews, I'm not sure if this is still true because I think this interview had like 2 years old maybe, that bench press is still not your forte, right? So you still work on your bench press?
Yeah, it's my nemesis. It's like, it's just, if we go back to being built for certain lifts, I mean, and I'm not using this as an excuse because trust me, I've added more bench sessions into my week, and I'm taller, so I'm almost 6 feet tall. So when you have long femurs, it makes it uncomfortable even to get your legs down and to get back. I'm not flexible, so I can't do that crazy arch that you see a lot of the
Right.
girls do. So I mean, I'm a flat bencher. So my bench is pretty good considering I'm flat. So a lot of these people that have a high bench, they have that crazy arch. So they really just move the bar down like maybe 2 inches,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I have to go all the way down because my arms are so long and just and no arch. So I'm working on it. I don't believe I have a like women are not designed for bench. We do not have as much upper body strength as men do. So.
But for people that do not understand, what really counts is this in powerlifting, right? For people that do not know the rules, what it counts is the total amount of weight that you lift all through the three lifts, or does it they count individually?
Yeah, so you start off with every competition, you start with the squat. So you have 3 attempts at squat. So, say for example, my first squat's going to be 363, and I get that. That's guaranteed that I got the 363. But then with your second attempt, you always go higher. So I might do like a 380. And then, but what if I miss that one? I still have a third attempt. And if I get like a 400 on my third attempt, I beat my 363. So that would be my total for squat. So you do that with each lift. So then you go on to
Mm.
bench press, you have 3 attempts. Then you go on to deadlift, you have 3 attempts. So whatever your best lift is out of those attempts for each is your total. And that's how you win podium spots.
Yeah, but you basically have the sum of all three.
Yes, the sum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So it's not individually. You cannot
No.
win just by lifting, having one good lift and lose the others, right?
Well, there's bench only. People sometimes go into just bench press. That's it. And those are for the people that love to bench press and they're really good at it. And they have like, they call them bench technicians.
Hmm.
But no, you have to do all 3 lifts. Yes.
But the PR counts individually, right? Because I think that you got the PR on that lift.
Yeah. So certain lifts that you go into competitions, you'll hit PRs, like you'll hit personal records when you go into the competition. Sometimes you like I have the North American deadlift record for my age class right now. Um, And yeah, actually last year I got second for, I think it was second for squat. Oh no, I got second for world deadlift last year. So,
Um,
so yeah, there you go. My deadlift's my highest and
yeah,
everything. So
amazing. That's so amazing. And what is even more amazing is that you started in 2019, right before COVID. So, did you have the infrastructure at home to train at home at that time, or you like build your gym over the years? I mean, after COVID.
yeah, so I was actually training at a big box gym with at that time I had a coach. So he actually got let go because everything shut down. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, I want to keep training. So he actually built a little gym inside of his garage at home. And so basically, I trained with him about 3 to 5 times a week for like 2 hours a day. And we just didn't do deadlifting, or I mean, we just didn't do powerlifting. We did other stuff too. And, to get stronger, I did a lot of core work. I was doing like some bodybuilding stuff. I got pretty ripped. It was pretty high. I missed my body with my COVID body. So, so, but I would sign up for competitions and then they would all get canceled. So I literally trained September 2019, and my first competition wasn't until November of 2021. So you imagine all that strength and all that hard work. I had to wait almost 2 years. Yeah.
Wow. Well, but is what I always tell people is about the journey, right? But what look what you became throughout this journey. And as you said, for a long time you got ripped and you were feeling super good. What was your weight at that time?
So the weight that I'm actually trying to get down to now, so because I just did my last competition and I don't have one until next year, like in May. So now is a perfect time for me to do a cut. So I want to get back down to 205 pounds. So
Is this the same weight you were during COVID?
yes, yeah. So basically, I'm going to do a major cut. Just cut off some like so many, probably a couple hundred calories a day. And then also, I'm going to be doing more cardio over the winter, more bodybuilding, higher rep
Hmm.
exercises. But because to me, mentally, that's more important than, lifting heavy weights right now because it has taken a toll on my mental health being at this weight. Like, it's funny, people look at me and go, oh, wow, you look great. Like, amazing. My boyfriend's like, oh wow, like I just love your body. But I'm like, I don't feel comfortable walking around in a bikini right now, And he's like, you're crazy. I'm like, I just don't feel like it. And it's for someone that's struggled with, body image my whole life, it really is hard. And a lot of females are like this, right? And they
Hmm.
look at the number on the scale. So I just want to do it for my health too,
Yeah.
to be lighter as well. So
And how do you balance this? Because in other powerlifters' mind, in between competition is probably the time to bulk, to get bigger,
yeah,
right? And you're doing
right.
exactly the opposite.
Opposite.
So, do you still
Well,
plan to gain strength and push heavy during this time?
yeah, so I'll maintain strength. So my goal is to not lose so much muscle, right? I want to lose body fat. So that's going to be a lot of cardio, and it's also going to be eating a very clean diet. So that's two things that I have not been doing over the last couple of years. I have not been doing cardio,
Oh,
and I mean, I do very minimal. I don't do a lot. Like now, I'm going to be doing a lot more. So I mean, and with the powerlifting mindset. I mean, a lot of them are like this. You just kind of want calories, right? So sometimes when I'm lifting, I just eat whatever to get my energy, right? So I'm not being mindful, like, of what I'm putting in my body. So to me, if I don't powerlift again, that's fine in the next year. To me, it's more important for my mental health to be at a lighter weight,
mm-hmm.
and then I can build up. So if I drop to 205, I don't mind putting 10 pounds on if I have to for a competition or up my calories. That's fine. At the end of the day, I'm not a paid athlete. So, I'm not going to like lose sponsors. I'm not going to like it's not worth it to me. So,
Yeah, no. First of all, you have to feel good with yourself. I
yeah.
think that's the main goal. If you are not comfortable walk around with that amount of weight, then it's not a good thing, right?
Yeah. And I think to me, with my sobriety, it's taught me a lot of things. And every day I need to be very mindful of my feelings, right? Because
Mhm.
I could quickly relapse and start drinking. So, if I'm like, so every day I kind of do like a self-analysis. I kind of go, okay, what am I feeling right now? Have I been happy? Have I been angry a lot lately? Any of these little emotions is what can make me relapse. So lately, I've been a little bit down in the dumps about my body and my health. So I'm like, you know what? I got to take care of that because if I don't have my sobriety, I don't have anything else in my life. I won't have powerlifting. You know what I mean? So I really got to take care of my mental health and well-being before anything else and my sobriety. So
And I'm so glad you are talking about mental health because that's a lot of athletes and even not athletes, they struggle with that. And this really dictates your entire performance. You can be even in shape, but if you are not in a good health, mental state, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that because, like I said, if I don't have that first, then I will not have anything. And I'm not even talking like sobriety wise, but you know, yeah, some of these athletes, or even if you think like movie stars and all these people that are like go, go, go all the time, and they're like, oh, more money, I need to make that next movie, I gotta do that next competition. Even like bodybuilders who are always at 10% body fat or less. Like, God, I don't know how they do that. Like, I would just, it's funny. Everyone says I should go into bodybuilding, and because I do have the stature and the physique for it, but I was like, no, like the mental health capacity of that, I would lose it. So people really need to like do what I do. Like just kind of analyze your feelings and what's making you tick and what's making you happy, what triggers you, what's making you eat more, what's making you angry. Thankfully, I learned that in sobriety. It's called emotional sobriety, right?
Mm,
Some people can quit drinking, but they don't change their minds. So you actually change the physical drinking part of it, but you don't change your minds. No different than someone that eats all the time, that overeats. You have to change your thinking and your brain as to why are you eating that? Are you hungry or are you hurting? You know?
right. So
So
4 years later, I saw your picture celebrating. Do you think that you were already able to change those things in your mind? Do you feel, or you feel like it's still a work in progress?
yeah, I mean, I read a statistic the other day that said at the 4 year mark is when most people relapse.
Oh,
So I was
really?
like, oh,
Wow.
okay. And the reason for that is because I guess that's the year where you probably feel overconfident, like, oh yeah, I got this. And people don't think about like, oh, when, people just think of people relapsing when they're sad and down and out. But a lot of people relapse when they're happy and life is going well because they want to have a drink to celebrate, or they think, you know what, I'm okay. I can handle one drink. So um, I think I am always going to be a work in progress. And I like that because I'm always trying to find any little thing that I can do to, even the other day, I'm like, I want to get into more into meditation and mindfulness. Like, I just feel like that's lacking. I'm always looking for something to improve myself. So, I mean, I'm very grateful for my 4 years. I have never had a craving for alcohol in 4 years, and that's even with this last year. It's been very stressful with everything that's going on in my federation, and I
Hmm.
haven't relapsed. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's yeah. So that's a testament to my sobriety, and like I said, I'm very vocal about it. So, I'm not ashamed about it. So the more people I tell that I'm a recovering alcoholic, it keeps me accountable to myself.
And it's good to talk about because first of all, who doesn't know you will never imagine that you are 47 years old. My face of surprise is truly real, and that you accomplish a lot of those things after 40. It gives people a lot of hope because people many times think that when they are entering the 40 and 50s now downhill, and I'm pretty sure that you are actually looking forward to the amount of things that you still have ahead of you to accomplish, right?
Yeah. So I guess, and that's a good point I want to bring up because it's true. A lot of people think when they're 40, everything's downhill. So, I mean, for people that listen to your podcast, it's very important that, I'm not saying to put yourself in the mind of an alcoholic, right? But just think about it. I wasted my whole life drinking. Like, I wish I could go back because, to me, I'm starting to live when I got sober. So to me, I'm just starting my life.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone can do that. So you don't have to be an alcoholic. You can decide today, if you're 44 years old and you're not happy about your weight or you're not happy about the relationship. Like, how many people do we know that are in relationships and they shouldn't be in them because they just feel stuck and they don't want to be alone? You can change your life at any age, 45 or 60. Like, you know what? You have one life to live. Let's do it and get on it. Because my mom, she was very athletic. She died of brain cancer when she was 51. And she saved all her money because she wanted to travel when she retired. And guess what? She never got to do that. So I remember cleaning out her closet of all her belongings, and she had the best clothes, and she was just meticulous in her belongings and this and that. And and that's what life was all about. I was cleaning out my mom's closet. You know what I mean? And she
Yep.
had all these dreams. So that's why I tell people, if you're or over 40, God, you can do it. You can do it when you're 80. There's power lifters that are 75, 80 in my federation.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
it's unbelievable.
unbelievable, unbelievable, and I really appreciate the encouragement because you are absolutely right. And I personally, I lost 100 pounds after my 40s, and I competed in bodybuilding for the first time in my 40s after losing 100 pounds. So yeah, life for me also started after 40, after 40s from that perspective, and it's totally feasible, right? Now, um, do you still having fun in powerlifting? Do you still enjoy with the same energy that you enjoyed 3 years ago? Because you live such an intense short period of time. Because sometimes people like live this boost of things and then they slow down a little bit. Or you still thinking in competing more and get new numbers, new records, new competition. There is any competition because you already went to worlds, so you went to nationals and worlds. What is next?
Yeah, so the type of personality I have, and that's what that's what keeps me driven, is that I always need something to look forward to. So, I mean, for me, whether it's a travel or a trip, for competitions, like my next thing that I would like to do is go to the Commonwealth Games. I, I mean, I would love, because the Commonwealth Games happen when I turn 50. So my goal is when I turn 50, I want to go smash all the records at the Commonwealth Games. I want to smash all the North American records and the world. I want to take all the records when I turn 50 and be like, hell yeah, this is what
That is
50 is.
awesome. I love it. This is
Yeah.
fantastic. Imagine that having this go at the age of 50. Wow, such a amazing mindset. Um, Now, going back to this whole thing that is happening to you, and that's why you gained so much publicity, and you were in Fox News, you were in so many places giving interviews, and I think that your the amount of people following you on Instagram grew like crazy. How did
Mhm.
you deal with that exposure? Because you are always so natural online, and did it change your perspective of things? Were you expecting this, growth on your social media?
Well, I mean, I still like I get messages every day still, of people. So this, I love this about myself, but sometimes I get annoyed with it. But it's, every message that I get, I always check my spam folder too to make sure I don't miss anything. I respond to every single message. I don't care if it's like a little one-liner, but it's people saying, "Oh, thank you so much for speaking out. I have three daughters. Thank you." I actually, some of the messages make me cry. I'm a very emotional, empathetic person. I have recovering alcoholics, drug addicts. I have people that message me about, "Hey, how can I get sober?" I also have people messaging me. Majority, ever since the whole issue with my federation, have been saying, "Thank you so much for speaking up." Because I mean, especially in Canada, right? Because Canada's like, I feel like I'm the only athlete in Canada that actually has come forward, right?
Yeah.
So Canadians are just supposed to be polite and nice, and I mean, I'm always very respectful. I will always be respectful. I mean, to people. So I mean, just because we have difference of opinions doesn't mean we can't have a conversation and be respectful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. No, absolutely. And it's unbelievable that we are even having this discussion. To be honest with you, it shouldn't even happen.
yeah,
So the fact that you are the only one raising this flag is absolutely crazy because it shouldn't be that way. It's biology, right? It
yeah.
shouldn't be that way, and I think that you are really helping and inspiring others, and I'm glad that you are taking the time to respond to people. I think, and thanks for responding to mine,
Yeah.
because I think it helps, and you have no idea how other people gonna receive that message. I don't think that people understand that if someone is taking the time to send a message to you, it means a lot when the person responds.
Well, I know how it is if like there's someone that I really looked up to, and I trust me, I still do it. I'm like, I'll like, message Ellen DeGeneres, and oh, is she gonna get back to me? But no, but it's like I know what it feels like, and so sometimes when I do, because now I have a huge following, I actually have these bigger people. Like I got Pierce Morgan. I've been on some really cool shows like Joe Rogan and all this stuff. So it's really cool when people message me back. So I can only expect that people love it when I actually acknowledge their messages, right,
Hmm.
and talk to them. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to start going back to that whole be kind movement because I think the be kind movement is kind of what got us to where we are today. And, there's a difference between being kind and being a decent human being or just having integrity and morals,
Hmm.
right? But with my stance is that unfortunately, um, like people are trying to like you can't tell people what to say. At the end of the day, I have my view, I have my belief. I trust science and biology and truth. I stand for truth, and I can go to bed at night, have a good sleep because I speak truth all day.
Hmm.
And you know what I mean? So I will say, I firmly believe there's only two genders.
Hmm.
I do believe that a woman can never become a man and a man will never be a woman. And I was talking to a evolutionary biologist today, and he messaged me and said, thank you so much for speaking up because I have a daughter that I want to protect. And I said, hey, keep speaking up. He goes, I am. It's my job to. I'm an evolutionary biologist. It's
Wow.
biology.
Wow.
There's man and we. So the whole, I guess, transgender movement, it's unfortunate that they've kind of said, oh no, you have to use pronouns and you have to do this. Even organizations are like, you have to. I'm like, no, you don't. It's suggested. And if it's not, if it's forced on you, it's compelled speech. I have my belief. I do not push it on people. I am very open to having a conversation. I do not want to be screaming. I do not want obscenities. I do not want to get mean with people. But let me have my belief and you have yours. And we can still love one
And
another.
I think
So,
that Piers gave a very good suggestion about this. Why not creating a category, a division just for
yeah,
that? Problem solved.
that's all we want. That's all we ask for. And I think people, again, social media, people can twist it to be like, oh no, you're banning transgenders. You're not you're getting rid of our existence. No, I actually have many like I have many friends in the LGBT community, many. And it's too bad that that's even tied in with it because I hate when they do that because that's totally not where we're going with it. But all we've asked is for a separate
Yeah.
category or like my federation, we're going to adopt the other policy, which is testosterone monitoring. It's okay. It's better than what it is now, but I don't even believe that's going to work. But a separate category and, turn it into a positive, like, have a category, be a spokesperson.
Hmm.
I think it would be a great
Yeah,
idea.
it's a
So,
win-win, definitely.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
and this whole thing, because as you said, you've been in so many TV shows and podcasts. It started in 2023. It started this year or was last year?
Yeah, so I started being very vocal about it in 2023. So last November, I really started to like post a lot of stuff about it. I had known about the issue in my federation since 2021, but I wrote my federation, they ignored me. So I ended up talking to Riley Gaines and Marcy Smith. They're women from Icons Independent Council that actually helped me. And there's actually a doctor in Canada, Dr. Linda Blade. She's also an athlete. She's been very helpful in speaking up about the matter. So when I had people in my circle and behind me, I felt obviously I was like I could post more and talk about it more. And to be honest, I haven't gotten much like hate uh, emails or speak. Like I've never gotten anything in my email, but only maybe less than 10 people since I've started this whole journey has maybe said, "Oh, you're a bigot or
Hmm.
you're transphobic," and I'll just basically say, "Okay, you can use those words, but doesn't mean it's true." Like it's like me calling you a goofball, you're a
Yeah.
goofball. Like what does that mean? Like so it just brushes off my shoulder. That's fine. And it just shows that they don't have an argument, right?
Hmm.
So I'm not going to get into a fight over it. Again, like I said, it's yeah, it's kind of useless to get into it. But I mean, but honestly, I haven't had much backlash at all. Like,
That's
so
it's good that you are super passionate about this, and that, as you said, with all this turmoil and the amount of publicity and all the stress, you didn't fall into alcohol, because that would be a really good excuse to go back to that, right? But you stay strong throughout this whole process, and you even competed last week. I saw. So your life is going on normally, right? So how are you able to handle everything? Just being more mindful? Are you, have a good agenda where, oh, this time is training time. I'm not gonna talk about this. How you are managing all those things?
yeah, exactly. And that I love that word. And like I said, that's one thing I've been practicing is more mindfulness and being aware. So I know when there's a time and place to talk about this topic. For example, I know not to talk about it at work. That's out of bounds. I don't bring my views into work. I go in, I do my job. I treat everyone 100% with respect, and no matter who they are or what they do, whatever. I try not to talk to my boyfriend about it that much because sometimes we can both get riled up about it and we both get stressed.
Hmm.
So we do need timeouts. Like I now have some settings on my phone where it says, "Okay, April, you've spent too much time on Instagram. Get off." So I have that set. I shut my phone down at night so I can read a book and unwind and watch my favorite TV show or something. Go for walks, be out in nature. There was at times where things were very heated and I was on my phone all the time and definitely affected my stress levels and my sleep. And honestly, my numbers this year haven't been that good for powerlifting. They're actually my lowest. But I like my Dr. Linda Blade said, like she commends me for actually competing because it is hard, right? But yeah, so yeah, no. Again, it's just being
Yeah.
mindful and aware of what I'm doing.
And
So
you still have your 8 to 5 job, besides all that, because a lot of people may think that you are 100% of the time athlete. That's not true, right?
no, oh, I no, no. If I was a paid athlete, sure, I'd work out all day and compete. But
Yeah. So it
yeah, no.
definitely adds a lot, and also brings another perspective of what you can actually do and accomplish if you start to organize your life, right? Because you have your work, regular work, and then you have your time to train, you have the time to interact and do all those interviews and everything. You cannot do this if you are not organized. You have to be organized, and you have to have the discipline to do those things. So the question is this discipline to be committed with your training, with your nutrition, with your recovery, something that is started on day one in 2019, or it was something that you started to build over the years?
So when I got sober, I realized something. I went to my doctor the one day and I said, I think I have OCD. And she's like, oh, okay. She goes, it's very common for recovering alcoholics to have some type of OCD. So I'm I'm super like yeah. So I get focused on something that I want to do, and then I just end up like putting all my energy into it. So if it's like I want to do powerlifting, I put all my energy. I want to perfect it. I want to be like the best that I can be. But I'm very meticulous with like, okay, I mean, not all the time. Now I started doing it again, but nutrition. I want to eat, like I try to eat very alkaline foods, right? I want to keep my body alkaline and healthy. Stay away from the junk, lots of fruits and vegetables. Like I'm very kind of like gotta take my greens drink in the morning. Like when I travel, I have an itinerary. Like I'm old school. I print off everything. Like what am I doing? I'm my boyfriend loves it because I'm so organized. But I do. It's like what you said. I compartmentalize. I put everything into compartments,
Mm-hmm.
and I wake up. It's the same routine every day. So yeah, no, definitely, it's like a healthy obsession, right? But it's like a mindset with me. Like I don't know how people could go to work every day, come home and sit on the couch all
Yeah.
day. That would drive me crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
And people don't realize how routine is important because for you to accomplish some things in life, mainly around sports, you really have to have a routine. You have to repeat
Mhm.
the same thing over and over. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Even if you are a gifted athlete, you have to have consistency.
Yeah, so you would understand because you were into bodybuilding, right? So so I like that's like I don't know how you guys do it. Like that's like six small meals a day and like macros and counting and sleep and water and how much protein. Like that's a full-time job in itself. So I mean, yeah, like I just routine is huge for me. That's one thing I learned at rehab was that's the one thing they teach you is structure and routine because a lot of people don't have that in their life. So when I was at rehab, we would get up, we would do chores at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Then we would have breakfast, and then we'd have like say prayer time, and then we'd have class. It was very, very structured up to we went to bed. Make your bed. I tell everyone, and my boyfriend's kids, he tells his kids to do the same thing. If you can do one thing in life, just get up and make your bed in the morning. Because it's a respect thing, right? So when you go to bed at night, you can go, "Oh, here's a nicely made bed." It's like it's a self-respect and self-love thing for yourself if you can go and make your bed every day, right?
Yeah.
And same with what are you putting into your body, right? Like getting adequate amount of sleep, staying off your phone. So all these little things make you a better you, and everything will follow. So whether it's you want to get into like tennis or you want to go into powerlifting, whatever, it really teaches you a good healthy mindset. And I heard today like a lot of people that want to lose weight, which is me, I go like all or nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to cut 500 calories off. But if you want to lose weight, they say, you know what, just add a salad on. Keep eating the same, but start adding a salad to your lunch or your dinner, right? Have your salad first. So you're getting your greens, right? You're getting your fiber. And then so do like a 10% tweak. And then, 6 months, do something else different, right? Maybe cut out that little treat that you have after dinner and just keep it to like have it on a Saturday, right? So
I,
just small
Yeah, it's small,
improvements.
small
Yeah.
improvements for sure. As long as you are doing consistently. I heard you saying in a different interview that you don't count your macros. You do count calories, but you don't count macros. But
No.
now that you are trying to cut, are you going to decrease the carbs, increase the protein? What is the strategy that you are planning to use?
Um, well, I mean, I've always made sure I get enough protein. I mean, some days I don't, but no, I literally just kind of calculated my BMR and like how many calories with the amount of exercise that I'm doing. So say if I'm supposed to have 2,300 calories, I've just cut it down to 1,900. And I know that seems very low, but I have to get out of the mentality that I need to have a lot of calories to be strong because that's what I was doing with powerlifting. I was eating like 3,000 calories. So I was overeating by 500 calories a day for a year, and that's how I put on 20 pounds, right? So and I always thought, oh, I need carbohydrates because those are the things that are going to make me strong and give me energy. So now I'm just like, okay, I'm going to restrict myself. I use my Fitness Pal. I put 1,900 calories. It's okay if I go over by a little bit, but I want to make sure those 1,900 calories are healthy foods, right? And I track them. And I look at my protein. I make sure I carry around a 2-liter bottle of water. Sometimes I have two of those a day, but if I want a treat at night, I still have a treat. Like I'm like, well, how many calories do I have left? I can have a little piece of dark chocolate or something, or you know, I love fruit. Like fruit's my thing I have for my sweet tooth, right? So yeah.
So you're not too concerned about the percentage of carbohydrate, the percentage of protein, the percentage of fat. You are looking to the overall, basically.
Yeah, I try to make most of my meals per day protein based, like protein, and then everything around it. Like if I'm having fats, it's obviously going to be good
Mm-hmm.
fats, right? Like I'll have nut butter, egg counts as like part of a fat, but yeah, I don't. Before when I was powerlifting, I'd say 40% was carbs, right? So now I've switched those numbers, and that's the thing too. I wasn't getting enough protein, so I was so hungry all the time. As you know, protein satiates, it makes you feel fuller, like longer. So I wasn't really, I was doing my protein shakes, but through my day when I was snacking, I was going for those quick carbohydrates, right? To give me like energy. And it's just, ugh, yeah. That's why you see these powerlifters, like, between sets, they're eating donuts and this and that. And that's true. Like, they've just got this stupid stigma of being big, big, and bulky, and a lot of them are.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so.
Have you um, ever considered doing other sports like strong woman type of lift or even CrossFit?
Well, I would love to try CrossFit, but I want to be lighter first. I'm not going to do any of those, what those, I don't know what they are, like chin up things that I remember, or climbing ropes. Like, okay, let's get this 20 pounds off first, then I'll start climbing something. But I like the sport. I think it's great. And that's what I need more in my life. I need more mobility. I need to be moving around more, active and cardio. So I actually love tennis and I still love boxing. So I think during the winter, I'm going to do some indoor tennis. I might get back into boxing. There's a boxing gym right in my building. They moved in like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, that's a sign from above.
And have you
So.
tried the hit type of cardio? Because you said that you're gonna do more cardio. Are you gonna do more steady cardio, or are you gonna do more hit style?
I don't know if I'll do hit style right away. I think my goal right now, I have a gym in my building, is just to get down and do some fasted cardio in the morning and get that going. Again, baby steps, and I'll just do it on the treadmill. I have no desire to run outside outdoors because for all you runners out there that love running outdoors, I think you're crazy. And my joints, like, it's actually, I just don't, and I'm very heavy, like right now. Like, I don't look heavy, but I'm a lot of muscle. So that hitting the pavement,
Yes,
like, no.
is aggressive.
No.
It's definitely aggressive.
Yeah, swimming,
I
yeah.
like the assault bike for cardio. It's really good.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. You're a different breed. I knew you
But
were.
I'm really looking forward to see this transformation between now and May because I know that you're gonna document this.
Okay, I will. Yeah.
To
I'll put some pictures up. I'll say like every 2 months I'll put a selfie up there, or 3 months, yeah.
Well, one of the things that we learn a lot in bodybuilding is we usually do weekly check-ins with pictures, right? Because you will not imagine the amount of things that you can change in your body composition in just 1 week. And as you go close to the competition, and think about you are between now and May, you can make a huge progress. So even if you don't post, make sure to take weekly pictures to track your progress.
Okay, so you're gonna be my coach. Now you're my coach. That's it. I'll be checking in with you. I want some tips. I want hints. So
Well, one good thing is you're doing. You're tracking your food. I think that this is number one tip. Right? And you use MyFitnessPal. I use MyFitnessPal when I was losing weight as well. It's great. I mean,
mhm.
because you have everything there. You know, sometimes people don't realize that they are overeating because they eat
Yeah.
snacks throughout the day, and then when they start tracking, it's like, oh my God, 3,000 calories.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So my friend, she lost a lot of weight too, and yeah, so if you're not, again, we go back to the word mindful. If you're not aware and mindful of how many calories, you lose track, and you've overate by 2 p.m. You've already gone over your calories. So she did say to me, like, look it, and this is my new thing, is that she's like, cook up a bunch of chicken breasts, get your hard boiled eggs, get these like protein source snacks, veggies, like cut up in the refrigerator, right? So that you can grab that. I got like protein bars again. I keep them in my car if I'm hungry. Like, so
And
yeah, I'll
that's
do
why I
that.
love the eating every 3 hours because I'm never hungry, and I always a small portion. So every 3 hours I'm eating something, so I never get hungry. You know,
So do you just snack every 3 hours, or do you have like a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, or do you just do like six smaller
it's just
meals?
usually 6 meals. I have my breakfast, I have a protein shake 3 hours, and then I have my lunch, and then I may have another protein shake, or I have a protein bar. But I always have uh, 6 meals a day, even if I'm not competing. It just helps me to stay balanced. Small portions.
Yeah, Now, do you do meal prep on like Sundays or a certain day or?
Yeah, my wife does. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's the key. I gotta get myself a personal
Yeah.
chef. That's
But yes, it works great, and food is very very important. Now, when it comes to supplements, are you doing any supplementation, creatine, whey protein? I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about when you are leading to a meet power lift meeting.
yeah. So right now I'm off everything because my doctor told me to go off. Even like I was taking creatine for since like 2019. So my last two blood tests came back abnormal for kidney
Mm,
disease.
wow.
So not nothing scary, but probably the reason why last year I was in so much pain. Like I actually feel great. Like since I'm off everything, I told my boyfriend today, like I'm walking around with energy. I just don't feel lethargic. I just feel really energized, and I quit everything. So I was only taking creatine, and I was sometimes having the odd protein shake. But she said that creatine is actually really harmful on your kidneys, and it's true. I actually looked it up. It's one of the top 10 supplements that can harm your kidney, right? So I think with me, because of my background with abusing drugs and alcohol, I probably have a weaker kidney than most people. So I just have to be very careful. There was a time when I was in pain back in nationals of February, and I was just my whole body was in pain, and I was taking like extra strength Advil. I was taking Robaxacet. I was taking caffeine pills. I was taking energy drinks. All these different things that my body, right? Obviously, my kidney has to
Hmm.
process, and so I'm just taking a break from all of that stuff right now. I'd like to be like, I know lots of lifters that don't even use creatine, right? So, I mean, does it really add that much more like weight on the bar? Does it really add to my performance? I don't think so, but yeah, we'll see. I'm just, I feel really good being off everything right now.
That's good.
So,
But even vitamins, or you still at least have some vitamins that you are taking?
yeah, I take a greens drink in the morning. It's mostly like antioxidants. I actually stopped taking like I don't take any vitamins of anything. I used to take like a B complex, but no, I don't take anything right now. I'm just so afraid right now because I'm supposed to go back for blood work in a couple months. So I don't want to take anything. So
Say you are in a natural detox, basically.
yeah, detox, detox. Yeah,
W-
basically, yeah. But look, I feel so awesome. Like I feel great.
But
So
is this affecting the training, or do you still feel energized when you're training? You still lifting well?
no, I feel great. Like I'm still like lots of energy. I mean, I don't notice it any different right now. I actually feel a lot better because I'm not in pain, right?
Hmm.
So um, sometimes my IT bands are a little tight. Like I feel great. Like I actually feel like it's funny. I don't want to get into the whole vaccine debate, but I'll tell you, ever since my last shot, I've been not the same. Just not the same person. I do not recover as well. I went through a phase where I was like very ill, very uh just so much pain, but I actually went through a spell of like I was very sick. Like I actually thought I had to go to the hospital one night. Like I was just I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it was my kidney because at that time I didn't know my kidney was I guess not the word. The blood work basically shows mild kidney disease,
Hmm.
right? So it does say that you can have immense pain and stuff like that. And but I didn't have any swelling of my limbs, which is usually a sign. So I just I just don't feel the same. And my boyfriend's the same way. He's like, "Yep, I don't heal as fast now." So I don't know if it's the vaccine or not, but
Well, stay healthy. Make sure to continue this trajectory. If you are feeling good now without any supplementation, keep it going. See how the blood work comes out. Uh,
hmm
and I think that what is gonna really improve the overall wealth is the cardio. People don't realize how cardio is important. And when you told me I barely do cardio, it's cardio is so important, and I think that this is going to improve a lot on your overall well-being.
yeah, when I was doing MMA, I did a lot of cardio, and I was running 6 miles a day on the treadmill. It was great. Like I actually loved it, and it got the endorphins going. I just felt really good. So I just need. I guess I've been shying away from cardio because I'm like I just feel heavier. But now that I'm actually starting to feel better, being off everything and eating better, it's like I could probably handle it. Like I might just start doing like walking, fast walking on an incline, and then start getting into it. But I did really enjoy cardio. It's not like I never did it. It's just that I do need to up it. It's like one of those things that people hate that they don't want to do.
You did boxing. Boxing is a great cardio. Is
Oh yeah, that's cardio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one is really
Yeah.
good. It really gets your heart rate really high very fast.
Yeah.
April, we could talk for hours. You have so much great things to share. It's so good to talk to you. Thank you very much for, be vocal and to share your beliefs and truth about where you stand. We definitely need more people like you. Very inspiring story about your powerlifting career, which is just starting, and even more inspiring to know that by the age of 50, you're going to be crushing all those goals in the Commonwealth Games. So I'm looking forward to see that.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm just gonna, you know what? I don't know what's gonna happen with my federation, but I'll tell you, I'm not gonna back down. I'm gonna keep going forward and keep speaking up. They're not gonna silence me. So we'll see what happens. But until then, I'll just train, get bigger, stronger, faster until I'm 50.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, and make sure to keep us posted with your progress until May. I'm looking forward to see
All right.
it. Take care,
All
April.
right.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
All right, everyone. That's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you for listening.